Most people recognize the famous Times Square kiss photograph: a sailor, a nurse, and a crowded street at the end of the war. But the goal of this reconstruction was not simply to animate the photograph itself. It was to imagine what the scene might have looked like a few seconds earlier. The first attempt was based mainly on camera movement. The idea was to place the camera behind the sailor, follow him forward through the street, then move around the two people and look back toward them. But this created a problem. Once the camera moved around and looked back, the background still resembled the original forward-facing photograph. The camera position changed, but the street itself did not change logically with it. The scene no longer felt spatially believable. So the second attempt used a different structure. A new opening frame was created to establish an earlier moment before the kiss, while the original photograph was used as the ending frame. The idea was to let the scene gradually transition into the famous image. This solved the earlier camera problem, but it introduced another issue. Because the original photograph has such a strong and specific composition, the ending frame pulled the entire sequence toward it too aggressively. The sailor and nurse began shifting unnaturally in order to match the final image. Their movement no longer felt continuous from the opening frame. Instead, it felt like the characters were being forced into position by the ending composition itself. So the final approach simplified the reconstruction even further. Rather than forcing a precise transition into the exact photograph, the reconstruction focused more on restoring natural street activity around the moment itself: pedestrians crossing through the street, traffic moving in the distance, and the sailor and nurse emerging more organically from the larger flow of movement around them. Historical photographs often already contain the place, the composition, and the emotional center of the scene. What they do not contain is the movement that existed just before the shutter closed.